or every time I'm on the toilet and push it thick like an Instagram model. It's gonna be an uphill battle with a boulder on top of you. So can you be fluent in a week? Truly. And it's the video you've been waiting for, the end of the series, the end of the experiment. How do I become fluent in a language in a week? Is it possible? Some of you are skeptical and you're saying no. And let me be completely honest with you guys, like clickbait aside, if you are at a higher level of the language and you already have exposure, sitting down for a week of intensive learning to become fluent it's a possibility. But if you have never done the language before, if you go and see my Swahili video and compare it to my Portuguese and my Korean video, you will see the difference. I had a background of Portuguese for a little while and I had the Spanish behind me. For Korean, I've been doing it on and off for years. I've never done Swahili before. I've never done anything similar to Swahili before, and you see there's a big difference in what I can say. I'm more at a touristy level at the end of the week with Swahili, but with the other ones I could talk about a lot more things. I could write about a lot more things, and I just had to work on my confidence. So can you be fluent in a week? Truly, kind of. Hate to break it to you, but that aside, this video is the solution, the one you have been waiting for, breaking down my 8-step plan. The links of this description, I can't speak English anymore, description, lots of links of websites, courses, everything, some for loads of languages, some for specific languages. If there's a language you want to learn and it's not referenced to down below, let me know. And talking about down below, take a minute, pause this video, comment below what language you want to learn and what would it mean to you to learn a new language. So for me, now that this challenge is over, I'm going to knuckle down on my Korean, and what would it mean to me? It would mean that I can be next level. I can multitask whilst watching all of these Korean reality TV shows and talk shows, because I don't like the fact that I have to, go back and like make sure that I understood it correctly and Google things I don't understand. Like, it's a lot of effort, it's too much effort for me. So with that said, let's just jump right in. Reading is one of the 8 poles of learning a language, the 8 podiums. Reading is more important for some people than others, and you have a different approach to it. So if you are an English native and you are learning Japanese, you are learning Hebrew, you need to focus on learning the alphabet, learning how to read straight away. But if you are an English learner and you are learning French or German or Portuguese, the alphabet is not really that different. So you might want to take a different approach of learning how to read to make it easier for you. So things like changing the language of your phone, buying a novel. I have read so many French novels and they've really, really helped me. So for people with a different character, I would definitely recommend Language Pod 101. They're a company, they have about 40 languages. My sister's using them right now to learn Russian. I use them for Korean. There's so many free, useful things on YouTube that can help you. The next thing we need to talk about is writing. Once again, if you are learning something from a different script, I always plug the Collins Chinese writing book, but there are similar books out there. A lot of them are on the more expensive side, and if it's a bit too much for you, I would say go looking for children's books, the type of things they give to people in elementary, in kindergarten, in primary, whatever, so that you will be able to learn just the way the kids learn, just like a native. And if you are learning a language with the same or a very similar type of alphabet system, maybe writing isn't the most important thing to you. It just may not be that important, and that saves you some time so you can move on to speaking. Speaking, we have 2 approaches. If you want to just be able to speak the language more than you care about learning the vocab and the grammar and the logistics of it, I would recommend going for audio courses and things like Pimsleur so you can speak right from the start and communicate with people. If that's your goal, if that's what you're looking for, go ahead, you go do that. But if you are not someone like that and you want to have a complete solid foundation in the language and understand it as well as speak it, I would say record yourself when you're learning new vocab or with example sentences, because that helps you practice, and not only with like the memory side of things, but also moving your mouth in a new way. There are certain vowel sounds, consonant sounds. In Swahili there was like the and the that's so bad that I had to practice again. And speaking is such an important part. If your accent is really important to you, I went right into Chinese without worrying about accent, then that was okay for me. But if it's more important for you, once again, audio courses, there are YouTube videos and YouTube courses that explain this for you, that will help you out. And you might want to take your time just to slow down if your accent is that important for you, but that is your choice. Then we're talking about reading, writing, listening. Okay, so definitely subscribe to loads of YouTubers. This will help you so you understand what normal people sound like, because a lot of these textbooks are outdated and overly formal, which is useful in some cases, but most of the time it's not. YouTubers also mean you can have things that are interesting to you. If you don't have any interest in the language and it's not fun to you, it's gonna be an uphill battle with a boulder on top of you. Like, learning a language is already difficult enough. Then not being interested, I don't think so. I just don't think so. So listening to music and podcasts and movies and just immersing yourself as soon as possible, especially if it's more widely spoken, like Spanish, like French. There are different accents, there's different regions, there's different dialects. French in Africa versus French in Canada sound completely different, and you want to make sure that you are in the best position that if you are dropped somewhere, you need to have a conversation with someone and they have a thick accent, you can be like, it doesn't matter if your accent is thick like an Instagram model, because I've got it in my head. I can do it. So now those are the 4 like traditional poles. Let's talk about my 4 poles. Now we got grammar, vocabulary, translation, and culture. When it comes to vocabulary, the more you know, the more you are armed. Do I think it's the most important thing that you should dive your head into straight away? No, I think a lot of the time people push vocabulary and push it that is irrelevant. You need to start learning vocab that is relevant to your life. There are different ways to learn vocabulary. There should be a card up here, but I'm going to make a video on 8 different techniques for learning vocabulary that may help you. However you do it, you need to get it in, and there is a certain level of vocabulary that you should focus on. Some people say focus on 100 words, some people say focus on 1,000 words. Potato, it's up to you and how you are going to use the language and what it means to you. But you need to get that vocabulary into you. Like, Quizlet is a great thing to use, Memorize is a great thing to use, Voci, I don't know how to say it, but spaced repetition is the bottom line most important thing, so you don't forget it. So you do it on Monday, then you do it the next Monday, then you wait a month and you do it, just to make sure that you've still got it in your head. And then grammar and vocabulary. The best thing to do is not to learn vocab as one, but to learn it in a sentence, learn it in context. And what better way to do that than put it into the context of an example sentence for a new grammatical structure that you are learning. This is when you guys, this is a secret apparently. A lot of people don't do this. You need to maximize Google. Like, what are you doing, guys? Come on, let me help you out. Search up, let's say you want to learn Japanese grammar PDF. Grammar textbook PDF. It will come up with loads of free textbooks for you to use, or Japanese grammar PowerPoints, and it will come up with lessons probably from teachers who are giving it to their students. You need to maximize and get as much as you can. There are a lot of things that you can buy, but the first time that I ever bought anything to learn a language with, like other than textbooks for school, was this week. And I am doing great. Like, there may be so many other things that are so much more useful to you that cost less or nothing. So I would definitely recommend to really think before you purchase things, because the act of purchasing won't help. If you've followed me before, I bought stuff for GCSE French that I never used. I thought buying it would make me revise, but it didn't. And that was a mistake. I can use it for tutoring now, but like, the next thing is make sure you mold these 8 things together, because the more you mix and match them, the more your language skills will be on point, looking amazing, and you'll be able to speak more confidently from the start. Then let's talk about translation and culture. Translation uses a certain part of your brain, which is so useful, because if you're not already thinking in this language and you've already done translation exercises, written down, translating songs or whatever, then you are already, this is faster, it's going quicker, and then you're like, oh, I can speak faster, I'm getting more fluent, it's happening. And that was really, really weird. But yeah, translation is so important. And then culture is the one everyone was like, yo, Angie, why do I need to know the culture for the language? What's going on? But culture puts language into perspective, and it makes it easier to understand. And certain grammatical rules are a reflection of society and societal norms in those places. So understanding culture through YouTube videos, for example, is an amazing thing to do. If you haven't seen my Yoruba culture videos, what are you doing? Click the card, go have a look, experience my culture, it's fun. But yeah, for Brazilian Portuguese, there's a lady called Isis. I don't remember her surname, it begins with a P, I think, and she lives in the UK, she's from Brazil, and she just gave like culture norm and culture comparison and culture shock videos, which really helped me to further and fully like appreciate the language, and just to make it like make more sense. And the next thing, learning a language doesn't have to take forever. Personally, I think fluency should take between 3 and 24 months. I think you need to definitely do little and often, because 10 minutes every day will help you more than 3 hours on the weekend, for example. So I want you right now to make a commitment, okay? Pause this video, write down the date if you want to learn the language, and say, every time I walk to the bus stop, I will use Quizlet, or every time I'm on the toilet, I will use Duolingo. Make a small commitment, and little and often is what helps. It's like the rabbit and the tortoise, right? I believe in you guys. If you believe, you succeed and achieve. If you have any more questions, comment them down below and I will be sure to get through to you. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. And if you haven't seen the other episodes, go and see how I apply these tips to 3 different types of languages in 3 different contexts. I am so happy that you guys have seen this video. It's been so much fun making this series and I've really appreciated the interaction in between. Share this video. Don't keep this to yourself. Let's not be selfish. Let's share this and help other people on their journey to learn a language. Give it a big thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you think I'm talking absolute nonsense. And as always, make sure you wonderful people smile, subscribe, study hard, slay hard, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.